mean,
You know what a big fan I am of you as a person, and
yes.
um, we are big fans of intestinal fortitude. Number one, I want you to probably tell the family out there, how does a man who's in such great shape like yourself, even way back, fall into drugs? And then more importantly, where do you get the intestinal fortitude to pull yourself out that you don't become part of the equation?
It's a great question and said perfectly. You know, the how you get into it is the your surroundings. Your who you're around is such a big part of what happens in your life. And with wrestling, I mean, look at how many guys have overdosed and died. It's just drugs is unfortunately a huge part of pro wrestling. It was just in every locker room. I mean, you could have an Advil bottle, and a lot of wrestlers would do this as a joke, and you could drop an Advil bottle on a floor in a locker room, and the pill bottle sound of the Advil bottle hitting the ground, every pro wrestler turned around to that bottle because they were all some form of pillhead. So it was just a real nasty injury. Our industry was year round. If we didn't work, we didn't get paid. We didn't have health insurance. It was the nastiest, highest paying professional job on the planet, and it's just the way it was. It just it just was a drug filled industry, and it was in every door, every locker room. It was there, and again, you don't have to take it. Nobody was forcing it down your throat, but it just becomes part of life. To where I remember, like it was yesterday, a beer before 6 p.m. was taboo. And then one day it was open my eyes and turn to the phone and order a 6 pack of Coors Light to the room at 10 o'clock 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's one of those things that if you just don't stay on it, no different than sobriety, no different than one day at a time, no different than staying in the rooms of AA. When you get out of those rooms, you relapse. If you don't stay on your body to stay in shape, you're not going to stay in shape. If you don't stay on your body to stay sober, you're not going to stay sober. And I let my guard down thinking I would never be like one of those guys and be a pillhead or alcoholic. And all of a sudden I found myself being out of the bed, taking pills and drinking beer, and being a functioning addict for 10 years. And I lost 20 years. I didn't lose 20 years with a needle in my arm in the alley, but I lost 20 years sedated. I mean, I really did. I mean, there's things that happened that through being sedated, it just, it just went by. I lost 20 years, bro. And the key to getting out of that hole is your people around you. Dallas Page and my niece came to me and interventioned on me at a time that I'd had my car wreck in 2020, and I'd finally hurt myself. I ruined my right knee, and I finally done something with my addiction that finally left a dent, and it was a bad dent, and I couldn't fix it, and so I turned to alcohol, which I'd never turned to alcohol. I turned to alcohol, and because it was easy, it was quick, and alcohol is where I went. And so when I went to rehab, Dallas and my niece Jana were the intervention on me to come in and to get me clean. But I was ready to get clean, so I went. It was August of 2022, and I just this past August of 23 was my first year of sobriety. So I'm 14 months sober 14 months sober
Woo!
now.
Wow.
I gotta commend that.
But I will tell you, I can truthfully tell you, I am sober enough that at a year is a perfect time to see whether or not you like being sober or you don't. You've got a real good judgment to say, I'm just been a year sober. I'm good, clear minded, and I don't like this. I'm gonna go back the other way. Or
See, and
like what
I
happened
have
to
to agree
me.
with him on that. I really do, because I
But
was
but
gonna
at
ask you.
my at
I
my
don't get me
year
wrong.
end,
I'll have a glass of wine or two. But I've indulged in partying. I'm no saint. I'm no saint whatsoever. And I don't know if you know my background. I dated a WWE wrestler. That was my way into the world of wrestling. And I was going to ask you, what would you say to someone like my ex? My ex, I felt you get so sucked in, and especially if you have that addictive personality. I do
oh yeah,
feel when you have that addictive personality, you sponge everything and anything that you can absorb to just get through. You guys are working 5, 6, 7 days a week. You're either flying, driving, you literally don't have a life. And yes, it's working. If you don't work, you don't get paid. So,
hmm
and the more that you're on, the more that you're gonna move up.
yeah,
But it's who you surround yourself by. I have indulged in partying, and I'm one of those people. It's like, I have work this week. I'm done. And some people don't know how to say no. I want another one, and I want
right.
another one. And it's like, but what would you say to even like some of these wrestlers, whether they've been let go or they could potentially fall down that path of like, hey, been there, done that. It's not worth it. It's a nice high, but guess what? Just like every drug, the come down fucking sucks. Like,
Yeah. The truth is, you're exactly right, and it's just what I would say to them is like, even if you look, no matter how you look at it, if you go the money route, if I could just add up how much money I spent on alcohol and prescription
well, not
pills.
even just you spending. Let's
Oh my
be
God.
fair. I've watched fans. WrestleMania was insane. And I'm not just talking about with my ex. I watched people, let me buy you a drink with, I'm not going to name names of who I was hanging out with or chatting with. Just people just here, 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 here. And showing, and it's out of love, but it's like, how do you say no to someone who adores you or appreciates you that is handing you a shot or handing you a beer or let's go to the back room and do some rails. Like how do you say no when
I
it's
know it's
coming
it's tough, and
from
that's
a place of love, you know?
it's tough, and I was right there, right in the middle of it. I mean, I put on a character named Buff Bagwell on TV, and everybody didn't want to. They didn't want to party with Marcus. They wanted to party with Buff Bagwells. Let's party, bro. And so it was. The drinks were lined up, and like you said, any room, any party you wanted to go to, I could have gone to. Is the Coke party, the Bill party, any pot party, any party I wanted to go to, I could go.
Well, Buff, I think also you start to believe in the character, right? Because just like any human being, you love the admiration and you love the love that you're getting, and you associate that with the things that you're doing. So, how do you break away from that? I mean, I
Ooh,
guess the reason
that's a
I'm
good
asking these
question.
questions, or we're asking these questions, because it does take an incredible human being not just to get off of what's happening as far as the drugs go, but also to get away from being in love with being loved. How do you do
Sure.
Yeah, it's like a
that?
stripper. It's like a stripper. You gotta leave the stripper out the door and the stage name at the stage.
I think it just comes
You gotta
tired,
stop the
just
hustle
being
at the
tired.
door.
I think it comes a time that I was just tired. And I think that's what mostly happens is I at a year end of sobriety, I just saw that I had a much better year being sober than I did the previous 20 years drinking and taking pills. So I just think
Oh, Dad.
that,
Whew,
yeah,
that's
that's a non-drinking person right there.
that. Hello. I mean, you age like a fine wine. Don't get it. No, listen, I'll cheers to you. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted.
So I
You
do
look good
think
now, but
I do think it's
goddamn.
simply just being tired of it, bro. Being tired of the chase, being tired of your prescriptions, and it's a freedom to not having to worry about, am I taking these pills and when can I get them filled again, and the holiday the pharmacies close. That 20 years of that battle to be truly clean is a freedom. Is a freedom from not having to worry about, when can I get this pill filled again? And is it Sunday? Do they serve alcohol in this town? Is this a dry town or not? I mean, it just was a constant battle, man. And that's over. And I love it.
Well, you're one of the good guys, so
Yeah, seriously,
I'm
you are
extremely
literally.
proud of you and happy for you. God bless. On the
Thank
I
you.
other
almost started
end,
crying.
oh, she's gonna cry. It's every show.
No, I said I
Every
almost
show.
started crying because no, it's a vulnerability just to admit that you have your demons. We all have our demons, and you seeing the consequences of your actions and your behaviors, and it is hard to honestly almost step out of your body and be like, you know what, I don't like this. I don't like
Right.
you. I don't like what I'm doing, and it's hard. It's hard to
It
self
is.
reflect and be like. And that's one of the biggest things. I will say, I still like to have fun. Don't get it twisted. But I've stepped back out of my social life, and then I'm like, I've calmed down with my drinking. I've calmed down with things, and I'm just like, I can't fucking stand you people. How did I hang out with you for how many years? Like,
You know what?
Sure.
you're in that little
I
that
think
little
I'm going to keep
world.
you away from Buff. I've made that decision at this point. In this, I'm keeping you away from him.